The college football experience, Liberty Flames 2024 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. They just introduced college football best ball. Hop on over there, underdogfantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Liberty Flames 2024 season preview episode. The Flaming Libs love to talk about the Liberty Flames and Jamie Chadwell. Really, what this football program's done, really, since I would say Turner Gill is the first guy, the former Nebraska quarterback that came in and really set things off here as they've continued to build and continue to build up this program. YouTube.com/the college experience. Get on over there as we break it down 134 teams in the land. Solo podcast for each and every team in the land. We've already dropped our week 0 preview picks, college football playoff projections for the 12-team playoff. We got the week 0 DFS episode out, different episodes, of course, than the preview and picks episode. So get on over there, youtube.com/the college experience. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, AKA Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Yes. Look, I love what they're doing down there at Liberty, going all in on football and basketball. You know, I just want every school in the nation to go all in on football and basketball. I just think it's cool to see that. You know what I mean? So they were like D3 not that long ago, back in the days of Eric Green. I might have gotten a dust up with some Liberty basketball fans this offseason. But there's some good ones out there. Shout out to my guy Chad Hassan from the Sea of Red podcast. Love those guys. And look, if you're a Liberty fan, you're thinking 12-team playoff. We are going to get that thing. I am joined by my co-host. You've heard him on several of these previews. He's also writing a lot of great college football content at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. You've heard him on the MLB Gambling Podcast. You've heard him on the NBA Gambling Podcast. Give it up for Latte Smith. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good, man. I guess we got our last week of decent sleep, so now it's just all guns blazing for going forward. You know, we got actual football tomorrow. Well, I guess later on today for me and tomorrow for you. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to breaking down Liberty, man, and I'm looking forward to the season. Actually, I know we're talking about football, but Liberty basketball should be pretty good as well. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're killing it with the programs there. I even think baseball is decent. They might even have hockey. I can't remember, but football and basketball, I've been very impressed by what they've been doing. Shout out to Easy in the chat. And he's just cracking me up there. But yeah, I mean, look, this is a program. If we're really talking about, like, this program started in the 70s, and they were D3. What I feel like up until like the
I want to say like the 90s. And then they went FCS in 2002, I believe. And then, they had Danny Rocco was a good coach, and then Turner Gill, and then Hugh Strip Club Freeze, and then Jamie Chadwell. So four straight great hires, man. And Jamie Chadwell, first year there, 13-1. Now they did get destroyed by Oregon in the bowl game, but it's like, okay, I mean, they're not there yet, but God damn, this program's rising fast, man. Just like basketball, it's rising fast. What's your take on this program right now with, say, Jamie Chadwell there at the head coach spot?
Yeah, man, I love Chadwell when he was at Coastal. I was interested to see how he would do without McCall. Some people were it was kind of that Tom Brady Belichick thing. Is it the quarterback? Is it the coach? And I think he's proven himself. I mean, obviously small sample size, it's just 1 year, but I thought he did a great job. He got Salter playing, probably had just about as good a season as McCall did at Coastal. And obviously, McCall did it for a longer stretch, but yeah, I mean, I love Liberty. I've been to their campus several times, been around, Lynchburg several times. Even ran into Seth Curry back in 2009 out there for a pickup game. So
no shit.
Playing some pickup game with Seth out there his freshman year before he went to Duke. So yeah, man, I think it's a beautiful place. And I mean, they love their sports. They love the football, love the basketball. Anybody you can walk into a gas station and they're gonna be talking about Liberty football.
Yeah,
so,
no, and that's what's part of great about like Williams Stadium. They've really built that stadium up. It's fantastic. Yeah. Like they are. This is what I mean. That's why college football is so great. It's like a school out of nowhere can just say, "Hey, we're going all in on football, basketball, and if you get your money together, boom, you can do that." And that's it's like. The true American dream right here is just college football. Anyone could do this if you wanted to. I mean, there's so many stories of this. They're not the only university. There's a bunch of stories where you could just say that, but I love it just because they're putting football and basketball, really on the map there, and they have great fans, man. I know I talk shit to I got in some arguments last season of basketball. I don't remember how on Twitter, but besides that, like they're passionate. Even if I think they were, assholes to me on Twitter, I like how they were passionate because there's so many teams where the people don't care. You know what I mean? I like the fact they care. And like I said, I know some great Liberty, fans that are cool too. Like I said, my guy Chad, and his podcast. And I just think this is a really good thing moving forward in college football. And it's kind of a fascinating story. If you talk to most people, I think a lot of people have Liberty as their team to make the 12-team playoff, like them or Boise or Memphis. I would say they're one of those three. What do you think the chances are? I know we got to get to this at the end, but like, would you have your 12-team bracket? How far do you have Liberty in, or if not that, how far do you have them off?
I mean, I got them in just because of the schedule and the conference that they're in. I mean, you mentioned some of the teams like Boise, Memphis, but I think those teams are going through, a better schedule, whether it's a weak schedule for their respective conference. But I mean, the Conference USA is the worst conference in college football, and they get the luxury of having, two of the top three teams. Obviously, they can't play themselves, but the other two top teams, they get them at home in favorable spots. So, I mean, I got them at the top simply just based off of schedule. And I mean, they will have to run. I don't think some people think they have to run the table. I don't think so. I think they can lose to App State or ECU and still get in. They can't lose both though. They got to lose because I think other group of 5 teams are going to have more than one loss.
It really matters. It really matters what goes on elsewhere. But yeah, shout out to Nate Clark who goes, What's your Twitter name? I'll give you guys a follow. Blind Sports today. Look, at TCE on SGPN is the College Football Experience Twitter feed, but our personal Twitter follows handles. Lante's at XX Lante XX. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. So yeah, follow away. Let's do this thing. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, we're breaking down all 134 teams with the solo podcast for each and every team in the land. We also have the college basketball experience, the FCS college football experience, the college baseball experience. Get on over there. All right. 'Tis the season. Look, I want to talk more about Jamie Chadwell in a second, but I want to say that The College Football Experience is part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and it's football season starting today, depending on what time zone you're in. Everything in the merch store is 10% off with the promo code football. I'd recommend getting on over there and getting yourself a Patty C burrito shirt. Get on over there, do that. Or an Eat Shit Pit t-shirt, something fun out there. The Mike Leach Swing Your Sword t-shirts are fantastic. Get on over there, check it out. 10% off with the promo code football. Plus, obviously, college football kicks off in the next 24 hours. Tune into the Sports Gambling Podcast and the College Football Experience for Week 0 picks and all of your favorite conference futures. And remember, as always, to let it ride. All right, back. And yeah, Jamie Chadwell, I got some slides here. YouTube.com/the college experience. Jamie Chadwell is an interesting one. And Patty C, I got to say, he brings up an interesting point. We were doing our Conference USA win totals previews. Go listen to that episode. And I'm sure I'll key back in on this later in this episode, but Jamie Chadwell's 111 and 58 in 14 years as a head coach. Former East Tennessee State. I wish it was in East Carolina. Former East Carolina quarterback. Former ETSU Buccaneer, and he coached at North Greenville, Charleston Southern, Coastal Carolina. He's got co-OCs in Corn and Isaac, and his DC is Skylar McGee. He's a fantastic fucking football coach. Like, I don't know. I didn't make a list this year. I know a lot of years I've done that where I've made a list of coaches. It's all subjective, just clickbait. But I tend to think, I mean, he's got to be a top 25 coach in college football just for what he did at Coastal. He walks into Liberty 13-1. I mean, Hugh Freeze never had it going like that. Where would you put him in as far as like this is a guy where I think Liberty fans watch out, because if you go 13-1, 12, and I even think if you go 11-2 or something like that, or 11-3, you got to watch the Shane Beamer situation in South Carolina. You got to watch the Billy Napier situation in Florida, or if Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss, or if Heupel leaves Tennessee or something. Like, you got to watch that, or even the Virginia Tech. If Pry was if for some reason he left Virginia Tech, I would be very nervous, because he's got to be on the first. Like, I almost think for any Power 5 school, I would, I know they hire these search firms, which are fucking hilarious to me. Like, they pay a bunch of money. You can just call 1-800-PICK-DUNDE, people. Because Jamie Chadwell's got to be on a list of like top 5 coaches on the group of 5, or just in general that you would want to hire. Would you agree with that?
Definitely agree. I think he's similar to what Kalen DeBoer is. I mean, he's pretty much been a winner at every level he's coached. I mean, I just think that if a team, he has to be at the list simply because, I mean, you're getting him and a quarterback. That's a good one from Easy. Would Baylor call him? I would if I was him. But yeah, I'm thinking he's at least, the one of the first names that comes up when you're looking for a job. Maybe even Arkansas could be looking for.
That's what I'm saying. I just feel like there's so many
jobs. Many jobs.
Yeah. It's an interesting angle regarding this season, and it's going to be interesting moving forward to see the coaching carousel with the 12-team playoff going on. Mm-hmm. You see so many times coaches get hired in the mid, like towards the end of the season. So anyway, let's continue on this journey, because best wins. Wait, they've only been in the FBS for a little bit. They were in the FCS, but wait, they've already won on the road at Baylor, 48-45. They were FCS still when they won at Baylor just a few years ago. Then, since jumping to the FBS, they've won at Virginia Tech 38-35. They won at Syracuse. They whooped Syracuse ass in that filthy Carrier Dome. And then they went to Arkansas. This might be a reason though, but that was Hugh Strip Club Freeze that won this one, 21-19. What's the best one there? Is it the Hokies because that's in state, or what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Always in state is the best, because you're you win in a recruiting battle there. You got a leg up on them. I mean, obviously not winning for Virginia Tech, but you got some bragging rights there. You get to go in and say, we beat these I guess better athletes in quotes in their house. I mean, I think just 4 impressive road wins. Anytime you can win on a road in these type of environments. I mean, I know Baylor is not, the type of environment now, but then they were, on the up and up. Virginia Tech always hostile. Syracuse as well. Same with Arkansas. So all of those are great wins. We have to go with the in-state with Virginia Tech though.
Yeah, I think I would agree. Even though the SEC one is quite hilarious. Folks, we're going to talk about the offense, defense, special teams, go game by game on the schedule. But before I do that, I want to tell you that the Liberty Flames, the Flame and Libs season preview for 2024 is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy Pick'em is here, and they're giving you a chance to win 1,000 times the amount of money you enter. Or you can play fantasy football the right way with Best Ball. Yes, Best Ball Mania is live with $15 million in prizes. They finally a platform is doing college football best ball. I've only been waiting for this for 20 years. Jump on over there. And also you can now use specials and boost on all flex entries. So sign up with Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. If you have not been to the Circa in Las Vegas, I mean, Derek Stevens has basically built heaven on planet Earth for sports fans. Definitely. Yeah, it's incredible. So get on over there and look, you're going to want to sign up for this because imagine the regret you feel if you win your office pool. I remember talking to someone that worked at Wells Fargo that had won their fantasy football pool, right? Not their survivor. But he was like, yeah, we had a few hundred people working at Wells Fargo and I won. And, I'm like, well, damn, what'd you win? And he was like, yeah, just Top Golf. I got $200 gift card at Top Golf. And I think it was like California Pizza Kitchen gift card or something like that. It was like a slew of gift cards, maybe Starbucks in there too. And I was like, damn, but like you would have if you did that with Survivor, the thing about Survivor is your picks will be good anywhere. Like in fantasy football, sure, maybe someone else in another league would score better than you. I don't know. But with Survivor, those picks would be good anywhere. So imagine the regret you'd feel if you win your Survivor office pool, but didn't enter Circa Survivor because you would be a fucking millionaire, folks. Sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th. That's when the NFL kicks off with that wacky ass kickoff. And use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with the proxy. So hop on over there. Go to proxy.footballcontest.com to save you $50 with the promo code SGP. They're also going to give you a free hat. Who doesn't want a free hat? All right, we are back talking Liberty Flames football. Shout out to Nate Clark. He knows about Circa.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Circa's incredible. Derek Stevens, hell of a good guy too. Hell of a nice, kind guy. If you've had the chance to go out there, the owner of Circa.
Yep.
He's been on our show before, and he's just a very nice guy. The offense, holy shit, it was great. Year one, and look. Jamie Chadwell runs a very different offense than Hugh Freeze. So like these numbers are really fucking impressive. 9th in scoring offense, number 1 in the CUSA, 4th in yards, number 1 in the CUSA, but 4th best in the nation, overhauling a completely different offense. Very impressive. 88th in passing, but Jamie Chadwell does, that speed option. They were 8th in the CUSA out of 9 teams. This year there's 10 because Kennesaw State comes in. But the top rushing team in the fucking nation, it wasn't Air Force. It wasn't Navy. It wasn't Army. I mean, that's fucking impressive, man. That's really impressive considering the offense was ran differently, philosophical wise. Those numbers, that's why everyone should call Jamie Chadwell. Agree?
Definitely agree. And I mean, all the numbers are impressive. I know it's kind of a cop out, but when you're switching over, a completely different rosters with a new scheme that, these guys are probably not, accustomed to running, that's impressive. I mean, we've talked about numerous teams who went through scheme changes and they couldn't even score, 20 points a game, 21 points a game. For him to come in with a whole new roster, I mean, little to no expectation. I don't know what the Liberty win total was last year. I can't really remember, but
yeah, but they cooked the over. Yeah,
definitely did. But they weren't expected to, go crazy like they did. So I think that's credit to Chadwell and his offense, because that offense is not like something that you pick up on right away. That's something that's learned, repetition, timing, and you got to be in sync. to run that type of stuff. So I was impressed with him just being in, implementing all that stuff, and that's just a credit to his coaching.
Yeah, agreed. David Matola saying, "Can I get a free hat?" Of course you can, David. Just might say Arizona State on it, buddy. But he's an Arizona fan. Shout out to Nate Clark, gave you a follow. Didn't realize how big you guys were. Hey, appreciate you. Sometimes sometimes you record in your house because you have a newborn and not in the studio. It's okay. Appreciate you giving us a follow. And yeah, thank you, Nate. Easy saying Liberty's soft schedule help with the stats. Let me talk about this for a second, because I'm sure it did, but I have talked to several people at media days. When I go to media days, like, I know Boise's athletic director has been outspoken on this. Like, it's very hard for them to schedule because Boise played a bunch of SEC teams like 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Like they played at Ole Miss, at South Carolina, at Georgia. Well, I think it was at the Georgia Dome, but they beat Georgia.
Didn't they beat
Georgia at Georgia? What's that?
Didn't they beat Oregon as well? I mean, I know that's not the SEC.
They're undefeated against Oregon. They've beaten them, I think, 2 or 3 times. Yeah. And Florida State, they went to Tallahassee and won. I remember that. But after you start doing that, these Power 5 schools, they ain't dumbasses. They go, let's replace Boise. Let's replace Boise with San Jose State or New Mexico or something. So it becomes much harder to schedule. You know what I mean? And easy saying, well, Liberty has a bajillion dollars, like Biden said, but to pay the school, sure. But come on, I mean, they don't want to do it though.
They don't want to do it. They don't want to. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not saying that Liberty does. I'm saying I'm with you. Like the other schools, they don't want to do it.
Yeah, teams. Look, if you get that, they don't. Yeah, other schools don't want to do it, but also Liberty. If you're thinking, just they have that money to schedule everybody. To invite them there, but also like they have to make money. I mean, that's how they got that much money. You know what I mean? Like you have to make money. And if you're saying, hey, I'm going to pay Arkansas $10 million so we can go to Arkansas, because I guarantee you this, Arkansas won't go to Liberty.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Then at the end of the day, they're going to be so much in the red. It's like, what are we doing here? So even the wealthiest of the wealthiest, I still think like, no, I mean, they're not morons. So I think that's a legit thing, though, a legit problem moving forward for a lot of the group of 5, not just Liberty. They returned 6 starters on offense, led by Caden Salter, who is a beast of a quarterback, who by the way, entered the portal. And then somebody with a bag of cash, maybe the same one Easy's talking about, said, hey, whoa. Caden Salter, what are you doing? We'll give you a bag of cash. You don't need to go down to Hugh Freeze. You know what I mean? And Quentin Cooley's a stud too at the running back spot.
Definitely.
I mean, you got to like bringing that back. The only thing I'll say is a little concerning is only bringing back 2 of 5 on the O line. You got a receiver back, you got a tight end back, QB running back. But I tend to think just the recruiting with Jamie Chadwell and the fact you're in year 2 of the offense, it's just going to put up similar numbers. And the fact we know a Power 5 is not on the schedule, the kicker is back as well in case it's a close game. Colin Carhew, I don't know how to fucking pronounce his name, but anyway, what do you make of 6 starters back? Should we put red flags up for the offensive line, or you think they'd just be better with them?
I think they got time to like gel it out. I am kind of concerned there. I'm kind of concerned on the outside. They lost their big play receiver to LSU. I mean, I know we'll get to that in a second, but yeah, I mean, offensive line, when you don't return at least 3, that kind of concerns me. And I know they brought in a few guys to kind of fill those roles, but depth wise, I mean, we're just nitpicking here. I mean, I think Chadwell's offense will be fine regardless, but not having that continuity, the timing, precision, that's going to take time and it's going to take reps. But luckily, they got a few tune-up games, and I mean, the Conference USA is basically like a junior varsity scrimmage, so they'll be fine there once they get rolling. No disrespect to Jacksonville State and Western Kentucky though, but yeah. So once they get in conference play and get rolling, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
Bro, is Nate saying he's blind? That's fucking crazy.
Oh. Blind sport. Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Nate, are you actually you're actually blind? Because if so, let us know. And but we're grateful that you found us, brother.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, please, that's let us know, and send me a DM on Twitter, Nate. All right. Liberty on the offensive side of the ball, they lose. And by the way, I'm on Twitter at @TheColbyD. So if you just say, "Hey, I'm Nate," let me know. All right. But appreciate you giving us a follow, Nate. Liberty on the offensive side of the ball, they lose QB Reese Mooney to North Texas. They also lose Jonathan Bennett to the Citadel. Nice get for the Citadel. Because he started a couple games. CJ Daniels, who you just alluded to, is a beast of a wideout that's going to Baton Rouge. Brian Kelly and his family gave them a. I guess he's part of Brian Kelly and his family. Errol Rogers heads out to Sela. Offensive tackle Chase Mitchell to the Vanderbilt Commodores, and Brian Hannibal hitting the JUCO route. Not a lot. Look, CJ Daniels is gigantic, but Bennett started some games. It'd be nice to have some depth, but whatever. I'm sure they'll pick up somebody else. Now what they gained? Oh, it's right there. That somebody else is right there. It's Ryan Berger, who started for Appalachian State last season. Sneaky get, considering App's on the schedule. Sneaky get. All right, because what I'm thinking, let's pick him up. He's a somewhat talented quarterback who started at App State some, but also he might give you some intel on playing App State, say week 3. Also, Elijah Canyon is a very good wideout from Purdue. Nice fucking get. Dante Lee comes in from Shaw.
He's really good.
Don't sleep on those Shaw guys, man. There's been a few of those guys that have transferred and balled out. Yeah, he's really good. He's also going to be their kick returner, I think, too. And then Julian Gray from NC State. Tyson Mobley comes over from Coastal. Obviously, Chadwell was familiar with him at Coastal. DJ Geth at the offensive tackle spot from North Carolina, and John Paul Flores from Louisville. They killed the portal. Even though they lost a couple key guys, I think they won the portal. How about you?
Yep. Absolutely. Anytime you can withstand your immediate roster, like they didn't have. Of course, CJ Daniels was the highlighted name there, but they didn't have a ton of guys who were going to be impactful to them leave. So I think that, and they put an emphasis on what they needed most. They needed a receiver. Would have liked to see them get maybe a few more offensive linemen for that depth that I was speaking on earlier. But again, when you keep your quarterback, your running back, your coach, your offensive coordinator, automatic win.
Yeah, I agree. The defensive side of the ball, Nate, hit me up on Twitter, brother.
Yeah.
If you can, give me a follow, or you don't even have to give me a follow. Maybe you have to follow me. I'm not sure if you can send a message without following me, but at TCE on SGPN, brother. We appreciate you, man. 49th in the nation in scoring defense is the Liberty Flames. Top 50 defense a season ago, 23.9 points per game. 58th in yards, 372.6 yards per game, 116th in pass defense. That was 6th in the CUSA, and 24th in rush defense. That was tops in the CUSA. I know people will bring up the Oregon game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you want me to say? That okay,
they would do that on anybody.
First off, it should have been SMU. I love Liberty, and I want them to continue on this great path of dominance, with the exception of week 3 and 4 or whatever, 2 and 3. But I almost think that shit was set up. If you know the history of SMU, first off, they got dealt a death penalty, but I think if you do a deeper dive on that, they were cheating, but so were. A&M bought Dickerson the car, not SMU, but also Texas and A&M were threatened by SMU, and they had a lot of high up politicians that were alums from the university. It's some shady shit. And then I also think the Group of 5 only has a 2-year contract with the college football playoff, the 12-team playoff. I also think if they don't get a win or don't keep it competitive in these 2 or 3 years here, they might try to X them out of it completely, which is a very scary thing. But I also think if they can put that blowout on there, because it should have been SMU against Oregon. Let's be honest. Liberty had a great season, but I thought SMU in the AAC had more top-notch wins. But I mean, I guess that's up for debate. But either way, I just hope that some of these smaller schools keep it competitive when they get in the playoff. I'm putting my tinfoil hat on because I tend to think they did that shit on purpose to say, well, these games haven't been close. You know what I mean? But we'll see. I still think like Liberty, you play that game in a couple of years, we'll see, because Liberty's building that thing. Folks, I want to tell you before we dive into the defense more that the College Football Experience Liberty Flames 2024 season preview is brought to you by Rhythm. Have you ever wanted to create your own sports betting model for football? Do you even know what a sports betting model is? SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that provides bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model. Copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or press build a model for you that you can personalize. And then Rhythm will give you predictions for every game, player prop, everything. I mean, stats, research, betting trends, betting insights, everything you can think of. Simply simplify your betting process, because obviously college football kicks off today. And I've been using Rhythm for all summer, all that shit, golf, WNBA. All right. I just built my model so I can actually know what to bet on. And some of these random games on the opening weekend, it's fantastic. Like, I've never been more excited to watch a Delaware State Hornet football game in all my life, thanks to Rhythm. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of the MLB, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. So what are you doing, folks? And look, if you're going to go to Williams Stadium, which is a great college football environment, pull out that Game Time app. All right, you can get at or a Liberty basketball game. Wherever you're going to be, going to a Washington Redskins game, whatever it is, just pull out the app, use the Game Time. You could have Dave Chappelle in town, or I don't know, David Blaine, anyone named David it works for. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create that account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, we are back. I mean, this is pretty good defensive numbers, even considering for year one. Mm-hmm. They have 8 starters back on the defensive side of the ball, so a lot of reason to be optimistic. 3 on the defensive line, 3 in the secondary, and 2 in the linebacking core. Also, punter Max Morgan is back. But yeah, I think there's a lot of reason to think this defense could improve in year 2 here of this system. They did lose some guys though. Kendi Charles heads out to Duke, and that was a really good get for Duke. Brian Whitehead, a DN, heads out to Arkansas State. There's a slew of them. YouTube.com/the college experience. I think the bigger one too is Preston Hodge going to Colorado. I know the Buffs have been raving about the addition of Hodge. Also Kobe Singleton to Oregon State. So they did take some hits, but at the same time, they went out there and it's a 2-way street in the portal. They brought in some P5 guys, Brenton Williams from Auburn, Mike Jarvis. Don't be confusing with the old George Washington head coach. He comes in from Washington. Eli Hall from Wake Forest, Ethan Crisp, a linebacker from Vanderbilt, Aiden Vaughn, another linebacker from Wisconsin, Jamar Brown from Coastal, obviously familiar with Chadwell. Taylor Jackson from ECU. What are you doing, buddy? And
you gotta send that check. You gotta send that check to him, Kobe. What are you doing?
I know what the fuck's going on here, man. Charles Yates from ODU. I mean, how do I pronounce that? DeClona from UCF. Jason DeClona at the cornerback spot. I mean, that's a pretty good job of bringing in some multiple Wisconsin transfers. Who I know last year Wisconsin's defense wasn't amazing, but the year before it was pretty damn good. You think they won the defensive side of the ball?
Definitely. I mean, they feel their need, which I think their biggest weakness was their. I mean, is pretty much evident in the numbers. Not necessarily just because of the Oregon game, but you can kind of see with through the season they had their struggles with the secondary, and I thought they brought in some guys that could kind of help that. Defensive line added some depth. Always want the depth going through a season where depth is going to be tested throughout. The Group of Five and the Power Five. I'm interested to see if guys get pulled earlier in games to kind of preserve them because they're going for playoff berths or whatever the case may be. So I think building that depth along the trenches is big for them. So I think they won the defensive side as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be excited if you're a Liberty fan because it just seems like everything's aligning for you. The win total is set at 10.5 wins. Wait, they don't have a Power 5 on the schedule. 10.5 wins. I mean, they're minus 200 to win the Conference USA Championship. They're plus 400 to make it to the 12-team playoff invitational, and they're plus 50,000 there to win the national championship. I mean, first reaction when you see 10.5 wins, what do you think?
Over. That's the first thought in my mind. Just over. Because I mean, I think they split between App State and ECU. And then I can't see another loss on the schedule. I mean, I know we're about to get to it, but I just can't see it. They get the two best teams at home, favorable spots, they got the best quarterback coach. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, I wish you could try to make it interesting, but it's hard to make it interesting with the conference that they're in and just how much more talented they are.
Well, and Jerry Kill left New Mexico State, and Rick Stockstill left Middle Tennessee. Now, like, Derek Mason, I think, still a solid coach, but I think Stockstill's a pretty good coach. He just had a bad year last season. They almost beat Missouri. And Jerry Kill, New Mexico State falling off. So you're kind of like, I think the conference in a way got worse with the exception of the two contenders, Jacksonville State, Liberty. Right. And I guess maybe you could throw in Western Kentucky or maybe some of these new schools like Sam Houston or FIU or something. I know they're not new, but maybe the continuity, they're able to grab some wins and be a little bit better than normal. But yeah, I mean, my first reaction is that's probably what I would set the line at. It's probably I just blindly, just without looking at this, but let's look at this. The schedule, week 1, the Campbell Camels are coming to town. Mike Minter, no longer the head coach of Campbell. They went out and hired Houston Christian's head coach. 1-0. I got them taking it to Campbell week 1. How about you?
I do, man. I got to shout out my cousin because he was when Campbell first had their reopened their program as far as their football program. He was one of the first recruits that they got down there to get the program off the ground.
There we go.
So him and his guys, I went to every home game for 4 years, man. So I love Campbell. Obviously, a special place in my heart. But sorry, Campbell, you're gonna get destroyed. I'm sorry,
but shout out to that though. No, I mean the Campbell's program is on the rise. Yep. It is on the rise, and look, this is what's great about this schedule. It sucks you don't have a Power 5, and I'm sure you tried to get a Power 5, but getting the team that was probably the second best team in the CUSA a year ago, week 2 after they replaced not only their coach and coaches, but their whole damn roster. To me, like if you had to go to Las Cruces in November, now I mean I'm not very high on New Mexico State, but I'm just saying hypothetically, you want to get the new coaches in September, not November. I think they would have whooped his ass. They would have whooped their ass regardless of what time they played. So I got them going into Las Cruces and winning by like 30.
Literally.
Yeah, I think they're gonna fuck them up, man. That might be worse than the Campbell game.
Yeah, it might be, man. They lost a ton of players, man. Diego Pavia is not walking through that door. So 2-0.
And then they're home to UTEP. Scotty Walden. I like that hire at UTEP, and I know he brings in a bunch of his Austin P transfers, but if it was at UTEP, but no, 3-0. How about you?
Listen, I'm not going to take them to win, but UTEP has the potential with that FCS thing going in. They got potential to kind of be like Texas State in a way. I mean, if they, I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they can make that game a little bit more competitive than what people are thinking.
I am on the over with UTEP this year. I think bringing in all those transfers from the coming with coach is a thing, is a leg up. Like you said, Texas State did it last year. UTEP could do that this year. Now then they made a mistake of putting this juggernaut on the schedule. They are hosting the East Carolina Pirates, and it's the lead up to the app game that everyone keeps talking about. Everyone keeps talking about the app game. Okay. 3-1. ECU goes into Williams Stadium and reminds them that they're, we've won in Blacksburg. We've won at Scott Stadium in Virginia. We've never played at Williams Stadium. So we need to add it to the list of places we can go into in Virginia and win. This is great look ahead spot. Great look ahead spot, man. Cause everyone's talking like they've had this game circled. Chadwell even has had statements talking about app at media days. So it's like, no one's talking about it. Okay. We'll see what happens here. What are you doing here?
Yeah. So I would like ECU a lot better. Obviously I think their defense is going to be one of the better ones that they face outside of App State on the schedule. The only thing is they're coming off of playing App State, which could be about, and then they got ODU, if I'm not mistaken, the game before that. Is that right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think highly. I think we both took the under on ODU, but again, that's going to be a physical game. I think Liberty squeaks by them, maybe like a 3-point game.
He's trying to be nice to me. I guarantee you, we're done with this episode. He's talking to his wife or his girlfriend, and he's like, "Hey, you call me a fucking idiot. They're gonna win by 25."
No, I really don't think that though. I really don't think that.
Well, next up they go to Boone the very next week. I think they'll get one of these two. I mean, I don't know though, man. Because loss. Give me a loss.
Yeah, I like a loss here too, man. I mean, I think App State is a tough place to play. Boone is a tough place to play. Beautiful place, but a tough place to play a football game. You're going to be right on the cusp of, it's not, I mean, right now, I'm not going to lie, Kobe, like right now, it's like, it feels like, I guess a little bit cooler than what it normally does around this time. So temperatures dropping, so it should be a lot cooler there. I mean, App State is going to be ready.
My only thing is, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
so you like App State there, but my only thing is like Sean Clark will give you a lemon, some performance sometimes. Like whereas I feel like the previous coaches were a lot sharper. I'm gonna say App State wins though, just because Kid Brewer Stadium, that's one of the best stadiums too. If you guys get a chance, go to Kid Brewer Stadium. But I'm a homer here, so like I want to take ECU, but I kind of think 1-1 is what's really going to happen. But just because I believe, like literally we believe that ECU song, that they're gonna lose both. So after that, they're home to Mike McIntyre and Florida International, who I do think will be a bowl team this year. I think this is the hardest stretch of the season, by the way. I think those 3 games are the hardest stretch, but I got them whooping Florida International's ass, revenge game. Not to FIU. No,
I know what you mean. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. I think FIU is in a tough spot, especially coming off that App State, and then they're returning back home off a loss. Yeah, I think it could get ugly. Although, I like FIU. Did we do the FIU preview together?
Not yet. No, we have to still get that done, man. Maybe you just got you have booked for it. I like what you did there. Right? Then they got a bye week on October 12th. This is the only weird thing here. Let's talk about this. The fuck is this? Now, it's kind of genius because Kennesaw runs that out. Well, that's kind of like the speed option now, though. I don't know. It's a weird schedule with 2 bye weeks back to back. What's going on there? I don't understand it. Why?
Yeah, I don't understand. I've been watching college football a long time, man. I know you've been watching long, but I have never ever seen back-to-back bye weeks. How does that even happen?
It's very strange, man. Yeah. It's like literally you're playing 2 different seasons. Yeah,
that's insane.
And then you come back and you're at Kennesaw, win.
Yeah,
I mean, and then it sets up for the Halloween Eve big time game. And this is, to me,
That's going to be insane in Lynchburg.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome. I might, gosh, I was going to say I
want to go
might
to one
go
of those
to that,
games,
but
as
I
well.
was like, maybe next year. I got them winning this. How about you?
Yeah, I do have them winning this. Jacksonville State, I mean, they just, I think the weakness is in the secondary for Liberty. So any team that's going to get them is going to have to do it through the air, which is why, Aguilar and, I mean, I know they got Kanye Roberts in the backfield, but they can stretch the field. They run a lot of 2 tight end sets. I think that'll, trip up Liberty. But yeah, Jacksonville State, more of a ground and pound team. I think Liberty will be able to shut that down.
Yeah, agreed. And then they had the Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Been to that fine place there in Murfreesboro. But look, Middle Tennessee is going to be ass this year. That's a win. Now they have back-to-back away, and I will say this. I think Don Brown and UMass could be better this year. Now, how cold could it be in Amherst, Massachusetts, say on November 16th? No, I'm not taking liberty to lose to UMass, but I'm just saying I'm intrigued. UMass is weird. They beat New Mexico State last season. And I just feel like they're more talented this year than they've been in a while. That doesn't mean I'm like bullish on their over. I just feel like they have more guys that I think could potentially play professionally. And when I say professional, it doesn't mean the NFL. It means professionally, like CFL, UFL. But to me, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I got them winning, but I am curious. There's a stat about back-to-back away games. I'm curious for that one. I think I'm definitely going to put that one on the TV. But I got them winning that one. What are you doing there?
Yeah, I would circle that Middle Tennessee game a little before I circled the UMass game. Although, one of my good friends' his name is E. He will not call UMass. He will call them Amherst Tech because of that's what their name used to be. So he always calls them Amherst Tech. He just refuses to call them UMass. So
I like it. We can roll with that.
Just in his honor, I think they'll beat down Amherst Tech and they'll kind of maybe be in the sleepy spot versus Middle Tennessee, because I do think Middle Tennessee at the end of the year, if they got
will be a lot better than
they get a bye, I think, a few games before they get to Liberty, so they got time to tune things up. That'll be a big game for them. I mean, obviously, I don't think they'll win, but I think it'll be competitive, more competitive than what the point spread is.
And then they're hosting Western Kentucky, who a lot of people have as the odds-on favorite ahead of Jacksonville State, which I would disagree with, but they still get Jacksonville State and Western Kentucky at Williams Stadium. I got to win in this now. Yeah.
Nate likes Western Kentucky though. But I think Western Kentucky's gonna be a notch down this year.
There'll still be a bowl team though. I think,
of course.
Yeah. I mean,
they could, like, to me, it's like, how some teams, they can be better but have a worse record. Like,
I think because the schedule's harder.
Right. I think that's what's going to be the case. Obviously, we're seeing that with the Big Ten schools. Some of these teams are line. I mean, we have never seen Oklahoma lined at 7.5. Like that's never happened. But I think Western Kentucky falls in that category. I do like them though. I just don't think they match up well with Liberty,
especially at Williams Stadium. Then you're trying to go air raid. It's going to be cold as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, then they are heading to Huntsville, Texas. As Nate Clark not high on Sam Houston. I am though.
I like Sam Houston.
Yeah, I like Sam Houston.
Got him last year, like we were talking about before.
Probably should have got him last year
with zero offense. They had zero offense,
and now they got to go to the Bear Claw.
Yeah, come on.
And at Liberty could be top 10 or top 15 in the nation.
Yeah,
I'll say this. Between ECU, App State, and at Sam Houston, I'm on the under. I think they're going 10-2. 10-2. But I still think they are playing for the CUSA championship. And they could win the championship because that's an on-campus game. They're going to be hosting because I don't think anyone else is going to have one loss. They might not even have one loss because if you lose to ECU and App State, those are not conference opponents.
Right.
They're going to be in the championship game, but I mean, I could see dude. Honestly, I could see 12-0 too. I'm not going to bullshit you. Like I wouldn't shock me if they're 12-0. I also wouldn't shock me. To me, like the absolute floor is probably 9-3 or 8-4. Like I think 9-3 is probably more realistic for the floor than 8-4. What about for you? Like, are you're on the over?
Yeah,
or the under?
I got them 11-1, but I think that Sam Houston State game is something to be monitored for sure. They had the success last year. I mean, it's essentially the same team that they played, and Sam Houston State's offense should be a little bit better at least, especially coming into this game at the end of the year. They've had all that time to work on things. So, and I think they have this one circled after nearly springing that upset. So I think that's probably something to monitor. I think they'll win. I'll be taking Sam Houston and the points, but I think the floor is more 10-2. Obviously 12-0 is in play, but I think they go 11-1 more times than not, to be honest.
But this is why the 12-team playoff is so great, because like now those games, like before Liberty could have gone undefeated and they still wouldn't have given them a chance. Now it's like, wait, all of a sudden, like the ECU game, the App State game, the Jacksonville State game, the Western Kentucky game, the Sam Houston State game, those become fucking gigantic games. Yep. Just makes the sport so much better. It makes it so much better. Yep. So yeah, I'm fascinated. So I mean, the under, and you get juice on the under, I believe too. I didn't have it. I forgot to write that down, but
you'll definitely get plus money.
Yeah. Minus 200 to win the CUSA champ. Now, Patty C brought up an interesting point that if they do lose 2 games, theoretically they could be out of the playoff mix. If say Boise only has 1 loss, or Memphis or Tulane or whoever. And this is a scary part of taking the minus 200 CUSA championship is if that happens, if we know there's no shot of them making the playoffs, the 12-team playoff, but they're playing for the CUSA championship, and even if they're hosting, December 7th would be when that's played, or 6th or 7th. Jamie Chadwell could be the head coach of South Carolina by then. Also, Caden Salter could be the next starting quarterback at LSU or something. I mean, I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but I just think that's an interesting thing to like the new thing of the handicapping the championship game with the 12-team playoff. It makes it very interesting for like, will their coaching staff be there? You know what I mean? We just said at the beginning of the episode, he's like one of the hottest coaches in college football. That makes it scary on taking a conference future odds, especially at a negative value. So I think if you're a Liberty fan, you just take the win total over, or take them to go 12, take them to go 11-1 or something. If you can find exact wins,
you can.
I don't know that you want to. I don't know that you want to touch the minus 200 to win the Conference USA championship. How about you? Do you think that makes sense?
It does make sense to me. I definitely wouldn't lay this type of price for anybody to win a conference. To be honest, anything can happen, and I think we don't know. We're in new territory. I mean, all the stuff that we have been accustomed to as far as like handicapping and watching these games and kind of coming up with theories and trends or whatever we are accustomed to, it's going to change because of this 12-team playoff. Teams can afford to lose a game. They can afford to lose 2 games if you're depending on your brand. So we got to be mindful and monitor these certain things because coaches are going to play things different than what we've ever seen it. So we got to get accustomed to that. So who's to say Liberty, they might not want style points. They might just want to beat people and pull the guys and go on to the next game. So they could be, not covering these big point spreads that they're going to be laying, because they're going to be laying, north of 20 plus in probably like 9 out of 12 games. So I definitely wouldn't lay that. I buy into what Patty C and what you just said as well. But I still like the over. If you like anything, just bet the over. Yeah,
I think that's the angle you do if you're a Liberty fan. Shout out to Nate. He goes, I'm a Kansas alum. We love Kansas. They've been my darling with Leipold for the last 3 years, ever since he got employed there. There were, especially the first 2 years, I had large wagers on the over. We dropped that Kansas preview. So go, if you get a chance, go listen to that, brother. And also, Nate, send me a DM on Twitter at @TheColbyD. All right. They're like, I've already deemed SMU as like must watch this year, the team, the most interesting team in college football. So I can't say that about Liberty, but I believe Liberty's like one of the top 5 or 10 teams that I find just really, really interesting moving forward with the way they're handling sports and Jamie Chadwell and Caden Salter and all those guys. So I'm fascinated by it. And Like I said, I could easily be wrong and they could be 12-0. I'm going to say 10-2 though. I cannot wait though to see this season for Liberty. They're must watch. Love how the Conference USA is doing those weeknight games too. We're both, well, no, you're on the over. I'm on the under. I don't feel good about it though. I don't feel good about it. Like, this will not touch a lock episode for me. You know what I mean? Like, this could easily be 12-0. Like I said, to me, like the absolute worst scenario to me is like 9-3 or 8-4. Probably 9-3 more so percentage wise to me than 8-4. But yeah, I mean, plus 400 to make the 12-team playoff. Maybe you throw a few bucks at it. You know, if you're Lante, if you're on the over. All right. Folks, give us a follow. But first off, you know, give Lante a follow on Twitter at xxlanteXX. Check out the MLB Gambling Podcast, the NBA Gambling Podcast. And remember, he writes a lot of great articles over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. And he also just booked himself for the Florida International preview. So check out the FIU preview that's coming soon. And enjoy this Saturday of college football, week 0, the 8 games that we have. So I'm on Twitter at TheColeBD. Give me a follow. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Please follow away. And like I said earlier, youtube.com/the college experience. It's the hub for all of our stuff. The college football experience, the college basketball experience, the college baseball experience, the FCS college football experience, the Stadium Heads podcast. Liberty fans, have you not listened to the Stadium Heads podcast? Because me and Michael Barker, AKA College Football Campus Tour, we give Liberty their flowers with Williams Stadium there in Lynchburg, Virginia. Great stadium. You guys keep adding on to it. Great fans. Go check out the Stadium Heads podcast. And all right, let's end this thing because I got a pregame show tomorrow morning. All right, in the SGPN studios. All right, we're rocking early. I got to get up at 6 a.m.
Oh my
all right. God. Till then, folks, appreciate you tuning in. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. This is the College Football Experience, Flamin' Lib style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the gamblers. Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And you know